Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we have all the information for the 8.5 Part 1 anniversary banner that will be coming tomorrow, really, as of the release of this video. And it's the Paradise Totsuka SUGO Fest with Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 with a 10% chance of a SUGO Fest. We also have the campaign that will be launching tomorrow. We have a Rainbow Gem sale, which is actually going to go on sale as well. So if you guys didn't pick up the login packs, make sure to do them. They're only available for 48 hours. We have Grand Voyage Barriate with some quests added. And then we've got some new level limit break characters as well. So I'm going to quickly touch on all of this. I'm going to leave the level limit break characters for a separate video. So make sure to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't done so. And if you enjoy this type of content, bolt the like button. Let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. And that way we'll keep making this kind of stuff, you know. Or if you have any ideas on what you guys want to see, make sure to hit me down in the comment section below as well. So, the first thing to talk about is the SUGO Fest. 10% rate for SUGO Fest characters to appear. It starts on the 29th, goes to the 9th of December. Now, that's a long time, so it's a big, lengthy SUGO Fest. So I would highly recommend everyone just wait, hold your horses, don't summon until you get to the back end of December 9th, and then make your decision then. These types of banners are really whale-centric banners because obviously Part 2 that's coming should be the crux of what the 8.5 anniversary is. However, if it's anything like the film Red Celebration, Uta was like the prime character there. So hopefully this is the prime character for the 8.5 anniversary. And they don't really drop anything too crazy later. But just remember, like December 9th is a well way away. However, like, what? 4 weeks after that, probably not, 3 weeks after that, you're looking at New Year's celebration, which is like, what, Roger Whitebeard tier, Luffy crew tier, so just be mindful of that. Now, this part right here scares the absolute shit out of me. It says 8.5 anniversary Part 1 Paradise Totsuka SUGO Fest is underway with 10% rate. The new 8.5 anniversary SUGO Fest exclusive Kinemon, Denjiro, Asuradoji, and Dogstorm, otherwise known as K.D.A.D, K.D.A.D, such a good name, as a voice character. The new K.D.A.D unit is not a double character. They will only be available in special SUGO Fests for memorial moments of OPT such as anniversaries and half anniversaries. Kinemon or K.D.A.D, it will not be available in special recruits. So this unit right here, if you don't pick them up on this particular SUGO Fest, they're not coming back until the anniversary. So that is a big yikes. But look, it was bound to happen again because we have the waifus. But it does mean that the waifus should be returning on this particular banner. Additionally, K.D.A.D will have GP stats and will be accessible in Grand Party, and they will have max GP stats level from this SUGO Fest. So if you pull them, they'll come at max GP, which is the Grand Party event, which is obviously the new stuff that's coming with this. Plus, Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, Kikujuno, and Raizo will also be featured. The new Cat Viper and Kawamatsu are on Part 1 and Part 2 boosted, and then Kiku and Raizo are Part 1 and Part 3. So, the 8th anniversary, there it is right there. Hancock, Nami, and Robin will be returning, and in this SUGO, a recruitable SUGO Fest exclusive characters is for 30 characters on Part 1 and 20 on Part 2 and Part 3. So, we'll talk about that as well. You can clear the trial quest to sort of check out the characters. So, this is just information, regular SUGO Fest information. And then, obviously, we have the new characters right here. Now, we've already broke down the legend. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys if you guys want to check out my thoughts and opinions on this particular character. Basically, this character is exceptionally good. Like, it's ridiculous how amazing this character is. And it does make sense that they are a special SUGO Fest character, or like a super SUGO, as we like to call them. As they have a final tap here that gives them a Wano orb and then deals 1 times damage dealt by normal attacks of slashes on top of final damage. Now, this is basically the same as Straw Hat Crew. This is very worth a final tap tablet, by the way, especially because this character is so goddamn exclusive. And if you don't pick up dupes on this banner, you will not, from what it said earlier, you will not be seeing this character until anniversary. So, 6 months down the track, that's when this character will be returning. But, look, at the end of the day, there's not really the content for it, so, like, I don't recommend people chase that. Regular people, I'm not gonna, like, sort of sit here and say that, like, I'm not gonna do that, because, look, you never know with me, right? But we have some new rare recruits, which we haven't broke down, so we're gonna talk about them right now. We've got Cat Viper. Cat Viper's special, reduces barrier by 2 turns, threshold by 5, and if 5 or more slashes are on the crew, boost strength and slashes slots by 2.25 for 2 turns, and if you have a slot effect boost, it's going to be a base attack boost plus 800. So, it's another option if you guys don't have Odin But most of the time, you're going to be utilizing V1 6 plus Odin on the team, and he's going to be your orb booster there. So the Cat Viper, he's kind of whatever. He does have an interesting support, being a 1.75 times slot boost for slashes, as long as you have an attack boost, or as long as they boost attack. And obviously, that's going to work very, very well on the new unit there as well. So Kawamatsu is another really good option, because I'm pretty sure the raid Kawamatsu, he's an attack booster, then he becomes an orb boost after time. So this is going to be very, very good for that as well. Very, very good support. Very interesting character. However, I think with Odin, like, you're probably not going to use Cat Viper too much. Next, we have Kawamatsu, my favorite of the Scabbards. His special is going to reduce special charge by 1 turn, bind and despair by 5 turns, very nice. And if you have 5 or more slashes on the crew, boost the attack of strength and slashes by 2.25 for 2 turns. And if you have an attack buff, doubles the type effectives of strength and slash characters for 2 turns. So this is great because obviously the new K.D.A.D unit is an attack booster. You have great utility here. You have special bind, special charge cooldown, bind and despair removal. Sailors, you are going to have a special reverse, and as a support is a 1.75 times attack booster to slashes whenever they use an orb boost on basically any of the Scabbards there as well. And Hiyori, which is pretty interesting. Hunger actually has Hunger. It's a really good limit break as well, so that's always fun. Does Cat Viper have anything crazy with... Oh, tapping on this character with a TND or Wano slot will apply a minus 10% slasher resistance to enemies, which is great because this should stack with the captain ability of K.D.A.D as well. So that's super interesting. The plus 20% will be insane. Or the minus 20%, I should say. Next, we've got Kiku. Kiku with 2 arms. Interesting. Pinch healing. Support goes on the Scabbards and reduces all enemies' defense by 80% for 1 turn whenever a character uses a special. She removes paralysis by... Oh, okay. Reduces cruise paralysis by 1 turn. That is huge. And then slashes HP. Her special is going to make strength and slasher characters' decks and quick slots have matching slot effects for 3 turns. Very nice, because this character seems to be very built around strength slasher teams. So having quick slots matching means no negative orbs. Reduced damage reduction by 5 turns, sets all enemies' defense to 0 for 2 turns. And if you have 5 or more slashes on the crew, boost the chain multiplier by 1.0 and doubles... No, boost the damage delta defense down by 1.75 for 2 turns. There's a lot of 2-turn shenanigan going on, and I don't know if I like 2 turns. Like, I know K.D.A.D extends if you have Odin on the crew, but like for the stuff like the defense down and the base stats and the color affinity, it seems very interesting mechanic to actually have. So Kiku seems alright, doesn't seem too bad. Great, honestly, great, what's it called? Great sailor ability, reducing paralysis by 1 turn there. Next we've got Raizo, a shooter slasher. His support is going to remove the supported character's special bind by 3 turns, going on any of the Scabbards. He's obviously going to be a special bind remover, but he does not have Sailor Despair, which is a little bit interesting. He removes special bind by 5 turns, reduces defense up by 5 turns, delays all enemies for 1 turn, and applies Ignite but for 40 times to all enemies, and then locks crew slots. Now, these guys, they're not all that crash hot from what I can see. There's a lot of two stuff, like 2-stage, like 2-turn stuff going on, which is a bit interesting. Where this only extends the attack and the orb boost, right? So it's kind of weird that you're getting a lot of 2-turn stuff. Maybe like in the new point farming, like there's a revive, because like obviously the only place I can think about that's going to be really good is when there is like a revive mechanic. The event boosted effects, obviously all of these guys are going to be good for the point farming event, but look, let's be real, shout out to Papi, we just run on auto on 20 stam. And then as for the steps, 1st, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, 14th, 16th, 17th, 19th, 21st, 22nd, 24th are a SUGO Fest rate boosted. The 2nd and 6th have an 80% chance of a SUGO Fest, so 80% chance there. The 3rd multi is either Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, Kinjiro, or Raizo, which is super, super nice. Is this part 1? So part 1 is 29th, part 2 30th, part 3 is 31st. Yes, this is part 1. On the 4th, 10th, 18th, 23rd, you get a SUGO. And on the 8th pool, you have a limited pool SUGO Fest, with the 12th, 15th, 20th, and 25th being a super limited pool. So pretty stock standard steps for this kind of stuff. As for part 2 and part 3, you basically have all of the same steps, except the 4th multi is a guaranteed Cat Viper, Kawamatsu, or Kinjiro Raizu, depending on which part you pull on. The 3rd and 8th have an 80% chance compared to the 2nd and 6th, which is interesting. And then the 30th has the new SUGO Fest exclusive character. What is the 10th and 20th? There's nothing there. It just doesn't say anything for the 10th and the 20th pulls. That's interesting. SUGO Fest on 5, 7, 13th. Like, these are pretty stock standard steps. Like, honestly, the banner structure isn't exactly the be-all or end-all, but obviously they compensate with giving us more gems there. But again, this is a SUGO Fest that I would definitely hold off on and definitely not go crazy on. Because we don't know what's coming, especially if you're free-to-play. Like, if free-to-play, like, New Year's is going to be a better SUGO Fest. So definitely hold out till then, and then pick this character back up over on Anniversary. As you guys can see here, part 1, you have the waifu unit. This is probably the most desirable unit besides the new character, because they have not come back since the Anniversary. As for that, it's a pretty stock standard list. You got the new characters like Hiyori, Ulti, Zoro, Sanji, Sasaki, Marco, Big Mom, Odin. Like, all of these characters that have released recently. And then you have a lot of level limit break copium down here. You've got stuff like V1 Shanks, V1 Whitebeard, Corazon. The new Neko and Dogstorm level limit breaks are available as well. Cracker got his. Rayleigh's great for Grand Voyage. And then the rest is just kind of there and cool, whatever. But obviously you want the Super Sugos in the waifus and Kinemon Denjiro. As for the limited pool's kind of nice. It's nice to see that the waifus are on the super limited and the limited pool. And I'll probably be summoning on part 1. Like, part 1, I'm a part 1 PD. You guys know me. As for the rate boosted characters on part 1, you have all of the new rare recruits as well, which is always nice to see for me. Plus, you have Akainu and Mr. Kizaru. As for part 2, you don't really have too many notable characters here that part 1 doesn't actually have. Maybe Who's Who, I guess. That's the big difference. As for everything else, like, part 2 and part 3 are automatically going to suffer. Even though they have less legends on them, they're automatically going to suffer because they don't have the waifu unit. So if you are going to summon on this banner, like, I would highly recommend summoning on part 1, just because you have the chance of getting waifus as well. And if you're missing waifus, that's great. But they have a final tap, so if you pick up dupes, that's great too. So yeah, at the end of the day, you want obviously the new legend. So if you want to sort of crunch the numbers, I guess part 2 and part 3 will be better. But I feel like summoning on part 1 for the chance of the waifus as well, especially if you're missing them, is better if you are summoning. But again, if you're free to play, I don't really recommend summoning here. As always, you summon on the Super Sugos, and you pick these characters up a little bit later on the Super Sugo that will be for Anniversary, right? Next, we have the campaign. There's free gems. You have a login bonus, which I think gives you up to like 50 gems, if I saw correctly. No, so login gives you 25 gems. And then you have a bunch of other stuff here as well. Odin's Travels, acquirement missions. Celebrate Yamato's birthday, there's going to be a new booster, Odin's Travels. So that's kind of cool. I feel like this is going to be what you farm from the point farming event as well. And it has the same effect as a Forbidden Tome when used on a power-up. So it's basically like just a new tome, really. So kind of cool. 25 gems. Super, super nice. Next, we have the Grand Voyage Bariate. And this is going to wrap up the video. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. Hawkeye's Mihawk is here at the Grand Voyage. I did predict that we were going to get another Bariate stage. This is the first time we have. But I was kind of expecting us to be using Mihawk and fighting Zoro, doing the opposite effect. With V1 Mihawk still not getting his level limit break, they actually level limit breaked V2 Zoro and V2 Mihawk. So I'm kind of interested. I thought they might sort of drop 2 when I saw the level limit breaks come out, but I was really under the impression that we were going to get a level limit break for V1 Mihawk, and then you have to verse Zoro as Mihawk, and I thought that was going to be really cool. However, they've gone in a different route here. It's, as you can see, you get a SUGO Rare Int poster, an Int manual, so obviously it's built around Int, and you are versing Mihawk, so you can obviously guess with the release of V2 Zoro's level limit break, it's going to be Int slashes taking on this quest. I don't think it'll be Int driven. I think that'd be absolutely stupid. So Int slashes is what I'm betting. And that will be coming on November 9th. So that is like a fair while away now, but obviously be ready for that. Check out the channel because I will have videos up there. The final thing, we're not going to touch on them today, but we do have level limit breaks for, as I mentioned, you have 6+ Zoro, Mihawk, Cracker, Dogstorm, and Cat Viper. I have looked at these. I am going to make a separate video on them, so make sure to check that out. But I really like what they did with Dogstorm and Cat Viper. Cracker's good. He didn't really need too much, to be honest. But what they did for him, they just made him stronger. It is what it is for poor old Cracker. They could have done more with him, don't get me wrong, but like I'm not a huge Cracker like advocate anyway, but Nevertheless, I do think he got a little bit shafted. Next, we've got Zoro and Mihawk. They work absolutely amazing together. Their multipliers are a little bit low, like their damage numbers and whatever, but I do really like what they're doing where if like you have a Zoro and you have a Mihawk, you get extra buffs, or you have Perona, which is that support character that came out alongside them. And the way that Neko Ino work very well together is actually something that I really like, and it's something they're doing with this particular legend as well, bringing back older characters like V1 Odin, Toki, all those characters that you don't really use too much anymore are now a lot more viable because of some of these newer characters in the game, and I really like that they're doing that. As long as they don't make it the crux of the character and make it a nice little cherry on top, I think that's a really good path to start taking down, to start making some of these old legends, because we have so many legends in the game, very, very relevant once again. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this in the comment section below. While you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button. If you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, make sure to belt that bell notification. If you haven't done so already, or you're one of those cheeky little people that haven't subscribed, make sure to become a subscriber today. But most importantly, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!